Srimate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadanaya Dadati Sarvadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sagana Itam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagan Tashi Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasundhyubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha Om Namo Vishnu Om Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarini Om Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jai Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, nice prayers, Danya. But next time you can read little slow. Okay? There is no rush. So you have to go out and play.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. So thanks for everyone joining. I see Hema Mataji too. Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev.
Thank you, Mataji. Nilima Mataji too. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So we are reading today Srimad Bhagavad Gita introduction, and especially in the introduction, what we discussed so far in the past two classes is how great this Bhagavad Gita is. How great this Bhagavad Gita is, and who are eligible to speak and who are eligible to listen. So, who are eligible to speak? That means the people whoever is speaking Bhagavad Gita, they must connect to a sampradaya. That means it has to be properly learned, right? You know, we sometimes in the material world, we call it as inheritance. I don't know, especially Matajis, you are all familiar with family recipes. What is family recipe? Certain curries, especially certain curries, certain families are very famous. Why? Because this recipe has been perfected from previous generations. So for 4 or 5 generations, this recipe is been passing down. The same way, this is a knowledge that has to be given. It is not that I open a book and I just read it and I get everything. Not necessarily. We can understand some, but unless until we get trained in it, we don't. For example, we buy lot of electronic equipment, or for that matter, our car. Car is the best example. Car, we get user's guide or user's manual and service manual also. User's manual will give us the important details of the car, how to drive, how to turn on, how to turn off, how to turn on the lights, how much is the tire pressure, all the things that are necessary for an experienced driver or a person who knows the driving. He can use it and drive it. But there is also service manual. Can we service it? Can we open the engine and use the service manual and do it? We cannot. Unless until we are trained, the service manuals are not useful. The same way, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puranas, all these scriptures, even though they are available, but that must be received, taught in a disciplined succession. And next, and who spoke this one? Lord Krishna spoke, and who heard? Arjuna heard. Arjuna heard. And Arjuna is confirming the authority of Bhagavad Gita. How he is confirming? We may ask that Arjuna is a friend of Krishna, so to promote Krishna, Arjuna may speaking all these things. To counter that, Arjuna is telling that not only me, but many great personalities like Narada, Asita, Kapila, Devala, all these people are supporting, speaking the same. So that means when all of them are speaking exactly the same, then it must be authentic. It must be authentic. So it is going through all these great personalities scrutinization. Now, next what he is talking about? He is talking about the Lord Krishna. He is Ishvara. He is the Supreme. And to a Supreme, who are we then? Who are we then? We are also his subjects. So it's basically either we are his children or something. So who we are is basically our relationship with Krishna. Some of us maybe wants to play with Krishna, that is a friendly relationship. Some of us wants to protect Krishna, that means to be a father or a mother, like a Vatsalya. As a parent, instead of taking shelter with Krishna, I wanted to give shelter to Krishna. That means Krishna is treated as a child. So we all have certain relationship with Krishna. Certain relationship with Krishna. Now what happened? That relationship we forgot. That relationship we forgot. That means every living entity in this material world must have a relationship with Krishna. There is not even a single entity in this world without Krishna's connection. Because everything has emanated from Krishna. That means if anything and everything emanated from Krishna, how can it be not having a relationship with Krishna? Some sort of relationship it must have. In this material world also, look at it. Name one thing that doesn't have any relationship. Anything in the world. You pick anything. A tree, an elephant, a dog, a man. Anything you pick up in the material world. You always find a connection. You won't find an entity that is all by itself. Even the planets, even the stars, even the sky, even the waters, even the oceans, every single thing, even in the material world, must have a relationship with one another. Isn't it? We always hear that I am alone, I am alone. How can you be alone? How can you came onto the earth without mother and father? They may not there with you right now, but you do have parents, isn't it? We're all born with parents. We are not born in a lab or something, or someone used some chemicals to make us to alive, right? There should be something, or there should be a creator of us. So our creator are basically our parents. We came from our parents. So there must be a relationship. So in that relationship, in that connection, so Krishna is the highest. So Bhagavatam especially teaching this knowledge to us. What are all it is teaching? It is teaching about Ishvara, the Supreme, Jiva, that is ourself, and Prakriti, the nature where we are living, and time. Time is the most essential thing. Time is what this energy of this time, how it is connected to with us. And then finally, karma, the work which we perform in this material world. These are the 5 important items that Bhagavad Gita is talking about. Now in the last class, we discussed about Ishvara and some portion of Jiva. Ishvara is the supreme, independent. He is not bounded by any rule. He is absolutely free. Absolutely free. There is nothing in this or anywhere whatsoever can dictate any terms to the Supreme. He is ultimate for anything. He is ultimate for anything. Aham adirhi deva. Sorry, what is that? Yeah, I forgot the verse. Bhagavad Gita, 10th chapter, 2nd verse. Aham adirhi devanam maharshinam cha sarvasaha. Yes, that is the 2nd verse. So he is telling, I am the beginning of all the devas. So he is the Adi Deva. He is the Adi Deva. He is Sarvakarana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. All causes. Anything that is existing in the material world, he is the reason. So he is absolutely omnipotent, omniscient, and he is everywhere, right? He can do anything and everything. There is no absolutely anything in this world that he can't do. But what about us? What about us? We have limitations. Even though we came from Krishna, even though we have the same qualities as Krishna, but we are limited. We are limited in power. My body can only withstand 50 degrees centigrade, probably 110 degrees Fahrenheit. If it goes to 120, 130, our body will burn like anything. The same way, when it goes to freezing point, probably we can, probably -2, -1 or something we can withstand. But afterwards, we freeze to death. So our body has limitations, but Krishna doesn't have any limitations. How far we can see, how far we can listen, how far we can smell it, how far we can touch, it is all limited. But Krishna can do anything and everything. So this is, Ishvara and Jiva. Now let us talk about Prakriti. So I will bring up this one out of the 5 subjects matters established here. Let us see where we are. Okay, here it is. For last week we discussed about 5 subjects matters. Ishvara and Jiva, we discussed about it. Now the material energy. What is the material energy? Can one of you, any new people would like to read this one? Who can see the screen? Who are on the laptops or computers? Anyone, new people? Like, Saujanya Mataji, Kirti Mataji, whoever can, good, comfortable with English reading. Anyone would like to try? No? Then I will pick someone. Nayanar Prabhu, would you like to read, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. What is material nature? This is also explained in the Gita as inferior Prakriti, inferior nature. The living entity is explained as the superior Prakriti. Prakriti is always under control, whether inferior or superior. Prakriti is female and she is controlled by the Lord just as the activities of a wife are controlled by the husband. Prakriti is always subordinate, predominated by the Lord, who is predominator. The living entities and material nature are both predominated, controlled by the Supreme Lord. According to the Gita, the living entities, although parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are to be considered Prakriti. This is clearly sorry, Prabhu. This is clearly mentioned in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Apareyam itastva anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam jiva bhudam. This material nature is my inferior prakriti, but beyond this is another prakriti, jiva bhutam, the living entities. Should I continue, brother?
Yes, please, please.
Yeah. Material nature itself is constituted by three qualities: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Above these modes, there is eternal time, and by a combination of these modes of nature and under the control and purview of eternal time, there are activities which are called karma. These activities are being carried out from time immemorial, and we are suffering or enjoying the fruits of our activities. For instance, suppose I am a businessman and have worked very hard with intelligence and have amassed a great bank balance. Then I am an enjoyer. But then say I have lost all my money in business, then I am a sufferer. Similarly, in every field of life, we enjoy the results of our work or we suffer the results. This is called karma.
Yeah,
Ishvara.
you
Yes,
can stop it here, Prabhu.
thank you.
Yeah, these two we can discuss about it. So last week we talked about Krishna, that is Ishvara, and Jiva, the living entities. The Jivas, we came from Krishna. We came from Krishna. What is that? In the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned, Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So eternally we came, or eternally we are fragmental parts of Krishna. So we have a relationship with Krishna. Okay, we came from Krishna, or we are one of the energies of Krishna. So Krishna, being a supreme, he has many energies. Parasha Shakti Vivadaiva Shruyate. So he has many energies. So these energies are broadly categorized into three varieties. What are the three varieties? One is called internal potency or Antarangika Shakti. This energy is the reason for the existence of the transcendental world, the world which we cannot see with our naked eyes, which we cannot experience with the present body. So there is a world that exists eternally, forever, only that can be accessed the people who are spiritually enhanced or spiritually sublime, is spiritually, whoever is practicing it. This is the world. And the second one, which is inferior energy, this is called Prakriti or Bahiranga Shakti. One is Antaranga Shakti, another is Bahiranga Shakti. What is this energy do? This energy is responsible to create a world where we can exist and play. Where we can exist and play. So this is like a playground for us. Our original home for all of us, anyone living on this material universe, for all of us, the home is Vaikunta. We are all came from Vaikunta. That is our original home. Where did we came? We all came in the morning to play in a sandbox kind of place. Isn't it? Morning parents will take children to sandbox. For what? All the children come together and play in the sandbox. Evening, the parents will come and take them back to home. This is exactly what is we are doing. We came from a world of Vaikunta to play of our own in this material world. Just like our children are playing in a sandbox, mimicking the parents. Some kids play as police cops, some kids play as thieves, some kids play as moms, some kids play as dads, some kids aunts, uncles, cooking, treating, making as a doctor, patients, all these things. The games that kids play, that is exactly what we are doing. So our job in this material world is basically we are trying to enjoy. What is our nature? The nature we borrowed it from Krishna. Krishna's nature is independent. Krishna's nature is a supreme controller. He lords over all the things that is existing, isn't it? Mayadhyakshena suite sacharacharam. Under his control, everything that is happening. So that means he is the Lord. Now, we also have the same tendency. We also have the same tendency of enjoying being a supreme. But unfortunately, we don't have the same power as Krishna to be supremely independent. We are not. We have the quality, but we are not the same. For example, if we take ocean water, can any one of us can drink ocean water? No matter how much ocean water is there, but we can't drink. We can't drink such a salty one. And ocean is, unmeasurably too deep. Unbreathed, we can't swim. We don't know. Unknown depths. This is ocean. But if you take a small drop of ocean water, but it has the same composition as the big ocean. The drop also has the same chemical composition. But are we afraid of a drop of ocean water? No. But when we go into the ocean, we are afraid. But the same drop of water, we don't afraid. Where is the difference? Where is the difference? The difference is in quantity. Unmeasurable power the ocean has, but whereas the drop, nothing to worry about it. Same is our nature. Because we have the tendencies of the Lord, but we don't have the power. Then what happened? We try to lord it over or imitate like Krishna here as lords. That is why we accumulate money, we accumulate intelligence, we accumulate name, we accumulate all the things. Isn't it? Why I'm doing all of it? Because I want to lord it over. See, if I have 1 lakh, probably the people inside home respect it. If I have 100 lakhs, that is 1 crore. 100 lakhs, that is 1 crore. So the people in my street will respect it. Now I have 100 crores. The people in my town respects. Now I have 1,000 crores. The people in my state recognizes me. I am one of the richest person in the state. Now, if I keep on increasing, what is happening? Everyone is respecting me. So what I'm doing it actually, I'm lording it over the nature. This is what exactly doing it, what we are doing it. We are trying to control the nature the way the Lord is controlling the nature. Now here is the problem. Lord is unlimited potential. He has the unlimited potential. But what about us? Our potential is very limited. Our power is very limited. So can we control it? That is what exactly happened. After getting some money, then what happened? There are people who are envious us. Then what happened? They backstab, they cheat, they do something, and then we lose. We may collapse, we may suffer, everything, we may lose. Now what happened? Assume that nobody has cheated. We are like Ajata Shatru. There is no enemy at all. You are the best person in the country. So what? If not, the nature will take care of its course. What it mean by that? So the business wherever all you are located, for example, there could be an earthquake, completely collapses the factories, assets which you have, which we have. So nature never allows us to lord it over. That means control over. That is why if we look at it, all the movies, at the end, they will leave one line. What is it? Good must prevail. Good must conquer the bad. And they give some 100. All movies are like this. What it mean actually? At some point, nature has to take its time, its course. It has to correct it. It has to correct it. This is the best example I come across in the recent times. So I don't know how many of you remember or something when I think it's Japan somewhere. Japan declared to the world that they created a nuclear reactor on a facility that no matter what earthquake or something that can shake the nuclear reactor or something like that. And guess what? So far, the human history on a Richter scale, it measured, I think it is up to 8.6 or something like, it never went beyond. But just guess, last earthquake when it hit Japan, what happened? It hit 8.9 on the Richter scale, and the reactor, the nuclear reactor, almost on the verge of collapsing it, taking the entire city surrounded that reactor. But guess what? It didn't blow up. It just stopped on the point, on the needle, just like that. So it is a warning to test us, to tell us that there is nothing can withstand this nature. We have seen time and again, time and time, the recent times we have seen corona, right? How small is the coronavirus? We can't even see with the naked eye. For literally 4 or 5 years, we suffered with corona. Lot of people, all our economy is completely crumbled down. Even today, corona is heard everywhere in all the world. How big is the corona? Corona is just so small. So we are not the Supreme Lord as we think, as we plan. We are not at all. But under illusion, we do all the things which we do, isn't it? We don't satisfy with what we have. You know, this one of the question that in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj was asked by his father Hiranyakasipu. What did he say? What did you learn in your school? What answer he gave it? He said, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate and everyone must surrender to the Supreme. But this line, Hiranyakasipu is not happy listening this line. Hiranyakasipu was troubled by all the 3 worlds. Up to down all 14 worlds, everyone is afraid of Hiranyakasipu. So he didn't like the idea of everyone must bow down to the Supreme. Then what happens? We know all the story. And also he said to his son, I conquered all the worlds. Even 5-year-old Prahlad Maharaj, he said a very nice, simple line. You know what did he say? You can't even control your own mind. You can't even control your own anger. How can you say that you conquered all 3 worlds? See how simple answer it is. We may conquer the whole world. We may conquer all the things. But if we don't conquer our mind, going after all the desires which we are, then how great it is. One day, these desires which we have in our mind will bring us down. Isn't it? That is exactly what happened. History is proving again and again, these undesirable things, or the desires which uncontrollable, are always leads to a bad ending. That is exactly what we are doing. We are thinking that we control everything, not realizing that the nature is controlling everything. It is clearly evident in our lives that nature is controlling everything. Yet, we don't want to believe it. We don't want to believe it. This is about Prakriti. Now what happens? This Prakriti has three qualities. What is these qualities? Three kinds of nature. This Prakriti means nature. What is the nature? Nature means how do I behave? How do I behave? So if you look at it, every aspect of this material world having these three natures. Sattva, this is called mode of goodness. Rajasa, mode of passion. Tamasa, mode of ignorance. These three aspects are in everything that we do. I am happy, these three things will be there. I am giving some charity, these three things will be there. I am crying, these three things will be there. I am angry, these three things will be there. I am working on something, these three things will be there. I am eating something, these three things will be there. What it means? That means we have food that is in the mode of goodness. We have food that is mode of passion. We have food, it is in the mode of ignorance. That means based on this quality, based on this nature, now what happened? We are influenced heavily on them. Heavily on them. For example, certain people very picky on eating. Why they have? That means they are very focused what they eat. What they eat. They cannot eat anything and everything. They are very picky. Certain people want very spicy, pungent, everything like that. What are all these proving it? This is proving that we have certain nature exists in us. So our body, our mind is made up of these three qualities. So you can ask yourself, from the day I woke up to the time, from the time I woke up to the time I sleep, in between all this time, am I exactly behaving the same way? You should ask yourself. If you look at it, mostly in the morning time, we are very peaceful. When someone calls us, we respond properly, we respect them, we speak nicely. As the time slowly progresses, what happened? I don't have the same patience that I have in the morning. Suppose if the child make noise, make some naughty things and spoiled something in home, morning time, mother have lot of patience, she tolerate. If the same thing happen afternoon, she will warn her, take things away, try to clean it up. But if the same thing happen evening or the night, there is no question of warnings and all the things. Just, punish him, chastise him. Why is that one? Morning, lot of patience is there, nicely spoken, smooth, everything. Afternoon, warnings, speaking harsh, everything. Evening, directly done down. It's basically taking cane, something, whatever it is, physical things. So why the things are doing like that? That means our time of 24 hours is also having this segregation, this bifurcation. So the time of 24 hours is also divided. Certain time is certain mode. That is why we were asked, if you wanted to do any things that are good, do it in the morning. What is the morning means? Morning 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. These 8 hours, 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. This time is called mode of goodness. Now 10 a.m. to evening 6 p.m. These 8 hours is called mode of passion. So if you carefully look at it, all our officers starts at 9 a.m. Why this 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 period chosen? Because that is the time we are so passionate to generate something, to create something. Our passion is at peaks. Our passion is at peaks. I wanted to create something. I want to have a name for myself. I wanted to make money. I wanted to create something. I wanted to get my name. This passion predominated this time, 9 to 6 or 10 to 6. That is why we all work. Now next what? 6 to 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. What is that time? That is called mode of ignorance. If you look at it, how we spent our time after 6 p.m. Most of the people, whoever is not at homes or something, they go to bars, they go to gambling halls, they are enjoying cinemas, recreational centers, all the things. What do? Full of ignorance. Worst case, after 9 p.m., 10 p.m., they sleep, full of ignorance, isn't it? So the night time is mode of ignorance, tamasa. So instead of doing nonsense during the night time, at least to sleep. That is the idea. The idea we are sleeping during the night time is, instead of doing some nonsense during that time, let us sleep so that the body will get rest. Isn't it? This is for a common man. This is for a common man. But if you look at it, all the sadhus, everyone, even that time also, they can make things for good. That means they can keep their nature in this 24-hour period in a mode of goodness. They can keep it. Such people, there is no need to worry about it. This is night time, this is daytime, this is any time is fine, because they are so fixed. But for us, common person, we need to understand. This is the reason lot of rules was put it. I don't know how many of you remember, especially if you grew up in a village side, countryside, you will know this rule. You should never ever go and ask for any debt. If you want to borrow something, from someone, you don't go after 6 p.m. You don't go and ask, can I have this one? Can you give me $100? Can you give me $200? You don't ask after 6 p.m. That is the wrong time to go and ask, because the other person is in completely ignorance state. So the things that is coming out of his mouth won't be nice and smooth. So if you wanted to borrow something, go in the morning. Go in the morning. So morning, his mood is good. He is not agitated. He is still in a good shape. Then he liberally can give something. So that is the idea. If you want to borrow, go in the morning. So there are a lot of rules were put like that. For a common man, it is not possible for him to visit temples 24/7. So what is the idea? So it is a rule, general rule in India until like 25 years back, 50 years back. What is the rule? Morning once, evening once, you must go to the temple. Why that rule is there? Morning, the day start with seeing the Lord, taking his blessings, and before go to bed, taking his blessings, so that things will go during the night. And they don't waste a lot of time. See, they get up at 4:30, they will be on the bed by 8 o'clock. See how nicely they're following the Bhagavad Gita without understanding any of this. So this Bhagavad Gita is giving them all the things that are needed. This is what is material nature, right? Our material nature is predominantly by these three modes. Three modes. The food which we eat, the things which we do, everything is three modes. Now, in this, whatever the work we do has some effect. So we are living in a world that has cause and effect. Cause and effect. Remember this. Even our science, mathematics, history, everything is proving that cause and effect. Right? What is a cause? What is an effect? Simple example. I am walking on the road. Some other Mataji or Prabhuji walking on the other side of the road or the same side of the road. I looked at them and I smiled at them. What will happen? I smiled. Two things will happen. Either they smile back or they ignore me. Smile back, ignore me. One of these two things will happen. So I smiled. This is the cause. What is the effect? They smile back. So this is cause and effect. Action, reaction. So something, there always a cause. We go to Walmart. We give $1. We buy something worth of $1. Worth of $1. So we get something back. This is cause and effect. Think of anything in this material world that is without a cause. Find out one single entity that is without a cause. Anything. Even we come into this world as a cause. Without the cause, we don't come to this world at all. There is a cause for everything. There is nothing without cause. This world is called causal thing. So that is why we are living in an ocean called causal ocean. Causal ocean. What is this causal ocean? That means there is a reason. That is why the Vishnu's name called Karunodaka Vishnu. Karuna. So there is a Karana. There is a reason for it. So where he is sleeping in causal ocean. That means the ocean that is filled with all the reasons. From that world, we are existing. That means we born in the world where always there is a reason. There is always a reason. There is no such thing called accidental, by chance. There is no such thing called by chance. There is no such thing called accident. This is all planned. There is a reason behind it. Always a reason behind it. So that is why we should never ever say that there is no reason to. Especially, I don't know, the kids who raised in America, this is very famous line. Because this is also, my kids always used to say. Whenever we ask something, they don't have a clear reason. They simply say, I don't know. They shrug their shoulders. They simply say, I don't know. They may not express it, but always there is a reason behind it. If we look into it, we will know. So there is a cause and effect. See this cause and effect? That is what is called karma. Karma. If we do good things will come back to us. If we do bad things do come back. There is no such thing called, I do good things, only bad things will come. I do bad things, only good things will come. No, that is never going to happen. Good things will come back. Bad things will come back. But in coming and going, there could be a delay. There could be a delay. Even that delay is also nicely calculated, properly calculated. This is a very, very long topic that we can discuss forever. But in a short, simplest way, this is what I learned from my grandmother. She is completely illiterate. She don't know anything. But she is a very pious lady. What she used to do is, every single day, any beggar walks onto my home, he won't go without alms, rice, some cooked ones, some curry, some fruit, something. She never ever sent any beggar empty-handed. Even she goes to an extent, if we don't have anything immediately to give away, she borrowed it from the next neighbor door. One time I asked her, why are you doing that? I understand if we have giving it makes some sense. Why are you going and borrowing and giving it to them? You know what she said? She said, it is not for me, it is for you. It is for you. This is exactly the Vedas are teaching us. What is Vedas are teaching? Whatever the works the parents do, the result will come on to the children. That means if the parents do some good things, that immediately affect the result will pass on to the children. If they do bad things, the children will get too. So that is why we should never ever say that our children's what they do, they never did anything wrong, they're absolutely fine or something. No, it is we causing the problem for our children. So this is how karma works. Karma never always works on you alone. No, it will work on multiple ways. Say suppose you have to be suffer so much, then what happened? What is the highest suffering? If our children are suffer right in front of our eyes, that is the highest suffering. We need not to suffer. I can bear suffering of myself. But if my loved ones suffer, I cannot take it. I cannot take it. So if our acts in the past are present so atrocious or so sinful, then if someone or if the Lord has to punish us, this is how exactly things are going to happen. So this is what is called karma. So more and more about this karma is explained in Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter, which is called Karma Yoga, and the 5th chapter, which is called Karma Sannyasa Yoga. So how to get rid of that karma. So one is talking about karma, another is talking about how to get rid of this karma in Bhagavad Gita. So that is what it is. So we learned about Prakriti, we learned about karma. Now the time is all is linked together, isn't it? What I did in my past, what I will do in future, what is current, everything is running on time. I have 24 hours, isn't it? I have week 7 days, I have month 31 days, I have an year 365 days. Everything is running off of time. What does it mean actually? Our body is aging. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. What is it meaning actually? The minute we born, our clock is ticking. Our clock is ticking. Very interestingly, if we observe it, when we ask to find out the age of a baby or a girl or a boy or anyone, what do we say? How old are you? Old. Remember, how old are you? Isn't it? What does it mean by old? She is just a baby as an infant, just born. But even still we say, how old are you? That means as soon as we born, our clock is ticking. Our 100-year clock is ticking. One day less, one day less, one day less, one day less. We are walking towards death. The minute we born, we are walking towards death. But interestingly, what do? we celebrate every single year, isn't it? We celebrate every single year, happy birthday, this and that, and so many things. But in reality, what is happening? Every single year, I am walking more close towards the death. Is it not? We are. That is reality. So, in this world, time is everything. The most powerful thing in this world is the time. Kalosmi aham. Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, 32nd verse. Kalosmi aham. I am the time. So, Krishna came to what? To destroy this entire world. Isn't it? There are so many great heroes, so many great personalities have born in this history of the mankind. Where are they? They all bite the dust. No matter who great, how great, what they did, it's all matter of time. We can only remember maximum what? 100 years, 200 years? But what we can remember about 500 years, 1000 years, 1 million years? We don't. We don't even know who they are, what they did at that time. So the time is so powerful. So this is about Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is speaking about Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and then Karma. The last is time. So these are the 5 elements are integral part of our existence. Our existence. If we know these 5, we know ourselves fully. That is what exactly Bhagavad Gita is talking. So I will stop it here and let us see if we have any comments and questions from anyone.